If you see news happening, call the Action News tip line toll-free at 866-NEWS-6 or contact us online at WPVI.com.
We continue our live reports on local damage in the wake of Isabel. Let's check in again in Delaware and Action News reporter Vernon Odom in Wilmington. What's the story there, Vern?
The story here, Rob, that city officials are asking that persons who do not need to come into Wilmington today, they're asking they not do so. They're assessing the storm's full impact and steering the cleanup operation. The floodwaters in eastern and southern portions of Wilmington look like the shoreline this morning after Isabel came and went. But flooding is not the major problem city officials face today. The winds are still swirling here, and that could spell more trouble.
We're not out of the woods yet. We still have flooding this morning. We have the Christina cresting in this early morning hour, and we also have high winds, still high winds showing, so we could still see some other trees coming down.
Those high winds overnight uprooted dozens of trees from the rain-saturated ground. This tree took out 3 cars alone, including one belonging to folks who just moved to town.
They just moved from Colorado, brand new car, and it's pretty bad. My car has, it's demolished.
There are some power outages around here, but that problem is not considered a massive one so far. The cleanup operation is underway. A lot of debris flew. Those several hundred Wilmington residents who were evacuated last night are now on their way back to their homes at this hour. When compared to their worst-case scenarios, officials here say the storm, the Hurricane Isabel, let them off easy. Live in Wilmington, Delaware, Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News.
Thank you, Vernon. And next on Action News, we'll be checking in with Action News reporter Michelle McCormack live via satellite from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We'll be right back.
New contestants.
There's Cher, Madonna, and now Stefanos.
New winners.
Final answer? You got it right!
Meredith Vieira.
$1 million.
Don't miss premiere week on Millionaire.
Millionaire, this week at 12:30 on 6abc.
What kind of person takes $200 to the Delaware River and throws it in? You. If you're not getting your new furniture, rugs, and carpet from the dump, that's exactly what you're doing. To the dump, to the dump, to the dump, dump, dump. Close to you, and as far from retail as you can get.
Even with rheumatoid arthritis, I'm an artist. I'm athletic. I'm a father. And today, I can still be all these things with Enbrel.
Enbrel may reduce the pain, stiffness, and fatigue of moderate to severe RA and inhibit the progression of joint damage.
I'm Eric Lindbergh, and even with RA, I was able to fly solo to Paris, just like my grandfather.
Enbrel, injected twice a week, is not for everyone. The most common side effects in clinical trials were injection site reaction, infection, and headache. Serious infections, nervous system, and blood disorders have also been reported, some fatal. Don't start Enbrel if you have an infection. Use caution if you're prone to one. If you get an infection while on Enbrel, or if you experience persistent fever, bruising, bleeding, or paleness, contact your doctor immediately. Call to learn more about Enbrel.
Because of Enbrel, I can be me.
Now pay just $1 for the first month's rent. Call Public Storage at 1-800-44-STORE and pay just $1. 1-800-44-STORE.
Today, starting at 12:30, it's Millionaire. All My Children, One Life to Live. General Hospital, Oprah, and Action News at 5. Here on 6abc.
Our hurricane coverage continues now. Action News reporter Michelle McCormack has been out and about in North Carolina this morning surveying damage, and she's joining us live via satellite from Kill Devil Hills. It's quite a different scene there now with the sunshine behind you than this time yesterday, Michelle.
It
It's really incredible, Rob. It's beautiful, except for the fact that we are seeing quite a lot of property damage. Now, the curfew that had been imposed and was supposed to have been lifted by this time has now been extended into tomorrow, with the exception for those owners who have extensive property damage. The ocean waves were still kicking up at a pretty good clip here in Kill Devil Hills, and with daylight, residents were finally getting a look at the damage. Older one-story homes were no match for Isabel, but newer rental properties that have stricter codes to follow seem to be able to withstand the force of the ocean. However, things such as pools and decks were simply reduced to nothing. Certainly every attempt was made to protect property. Take a look at these massive sandbags. You think by their size alone that maybe at least property owners would have a fighting chance to hold back the ocean, but not waves churned up by Isabel. The waves just came over and destroyed this pool, turning it into a sand pit. One owner of a hotel says while the foundation is still structurally sound, as you can see, the first floor was simply washed away. He says if tourism dollars are still important to the Outer Banks, it needs to invest in a beach replenishment program to better protect the properties that bring in so many tourist dollars. Otherwise, they just simply don't have a prayer. Looking live now out into the ocean. Looking live here, we see a surfer or two trying to catch a wave here. Probably the first sign that they are trying to bring things back to normal. Of course, they know that it will be a long time until they can fully say that life's back the way it used to be before Isabel. Live in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, Michelle McCormack, Channel 6 Action News. Rob.
Thank you, Michelle. Still ahead on Action News, David Murphy and our exclusive AccuWeather 5-Day when we continue in a moment.
An all-new Oprah. 1, 2, 3, 4. The gorgeous Beyonce gets crazy right here. Then, one of my favorites, Selma Hayek. No more reruns. It's one hot show. Next Oprah.
An all-new Oprah today at 4.
She's today's it girl, Kelly Ripa. She made it big in the morning, and now she's ready for prime time. But is she ready for Barbara Walters?
You're not going to get me to cry.
Kelly Ripa at home with Barbara Walters.
The tabloids have had a field everything.
A 2020 exclusive tonight.
It's news no one expects to hear.
When you hear the word cancer, it's fear.
I found out that I had breast cancer about a month ago, and it was a shock.
Now an expert team has been assembled to give Donna Avolio a fighting chance against a disease that, without treatment, could take her life.
Watch Penn Vital Signs tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. here on 6abc.
Buick quality. The commitment starts here. This is where Rendezvous gets its luxury car ride. Commanding view of the road. Available seating for 7. Rendezvous. Spacious, versatile, terrific highway fuel economy. Now get an incredible $4,500 cash back on this remarkable 2003 Rendezvous. $4,500. Quality and affordability. That's your Buick dealer now.
Welcome to Avalon Carpet Tile and Flooring. It's an industry first. Now, for a limited time only, we'll offer 0% interest financing for 36 months store-wide. Choose from the largest selection of carpet from every leading manufacturer, our huge selection of directly imported ceramic tile, the finest selections of hardwood and laminate flooring, window fashions, and area rugs. Our experienced sales staff can show you a product that will complement any room in your home. Visit Avalon Carpet Tile and Flooring and be pleasantly surprised by your savings.
Several Baltimore neighborhoods have been flooded by the hurricane. Many residents needed help getting out of their homes this morning after a night of rain. And somewhere, somehow, folks scrounged up rafts and canoes and small boats to come to the aid of their neighbors there. In some sections of Baltimore, watercraft are the only way to get around. David Murphy now inside with our AccuWeather 5-Day. Still breezy outside. Pretty day, though.
Yeah, nice day, but the gusts could still bring down a couple of additional tree branches. Storm Tracker 6 live radar shows you that the only lingering precipitation is up north of Allentown. A couple of little spritzes up that way. As we step outside, we've got bright conditions on Sky 6, but you can see the camera blowing in the wind. Right now, 80 degrees, humidity at 66%, barometer below 30 and rising a bit. And there are those winds gusting to 36 miles per hour right now. Your ocean water temperature 70. The latest on the remnants of Hurricane Hurricane Isabel, now hardly a tropical storm. Winds down to 35 miles per hour, moving north at 30 and getting on out of here. Here's the call for today as the remnants of the tropical storm move to the north. We're left with 82 degrees for your high, humid conditions, a fair amount of sunshine, but on the other hand, you also have a chance of an isolated strong thunderstorm as we go into the later afternoon and evening hours. Call from AccuWeather. We can wave goodbye to the storm at this point. Good riddance to Isabel. 82 degrees your forecast high, still breezy and gusty out there. 73 was the morning low. Regional temperatures pretty warm. 73 in Allentown and Reading and Trenton, 74 in Wilmington, 74 in Atlantic City. And closer to Center City, we're looking at 82 degrees there, 80 at the airport, 80 in Camden, and 79 in Northeast Philadelphia. The exclusive AccuWeather 5-day forecast. Your high today, 82 degrees, still breezy, and remember late in the day, an outside chance of a scattered but strong gusty thunderstorm. Partly cloudy tonight then for the Phillies, 66 degrees. And to start out the weekend, decent stuff. Partly sunny tomorrow, 82 degrees, and then mostly sunny on Sunday. That's a nice break after all of this preparation and the high winds overnight. 78 the high on Sunday. Monday, sun gives way to clouds, 78, and then Tuesday, mostly cloudy, 74 degrees with a chance of a shower around Tuesday. We made it, Rob, but we sure have an awful lot of...
We give you the latest information that we have on the tropical depression. It is not Tropical Storm Isabel, but Tropical Depression Isabel, and it is about 50 miles northeast of Cleveland. That was at 11 a.m. It's no longer 50 miles northeast of Cleveland because it's moving north at 30, so it is moving rapidly off to the north. It's back over to actually the north of Cleveland, north-northeast, over Lake Erie, making its way up toward Canada. Here's our satellite photograph, trying to dry out down to Baltimore and D.C. and Philadelphia. Very strong gusty winds. Paul Cosin, our winter weather expert, came in. He's just naming some of the wind speeds, and there's quite a few high wind speeds that we saw with this hurricane moving inland. Ocracoke, that's back over toward eastern North Carolina, back over toward the coast, and that was the strongest winds that we found is 105. I think back over to Cape Hatteras there's a gust around 98 also, so the strongest winds were back over toward the outer banks of North Carolina. Over at Norfolk, the Naval Air Station, gust to hurricane force at 74, and Paul Cosin came in to mention that back over Quantico, that's the Marine base bound down to the south of D.C., a gust to 78 miles per hour, so over hurricane force. And that's one of the reasons that we saw the surge, the flooding in Maryland, for instance. Also, rainfall amounts. Rainfall wasn't the biggest problem. Notice over 2 inches at D.C., Richmond 4 inches, Roanoke Rapids almost 7 inches of rain. That's a lot of water, but it was the flooding with the surge that we saw. Rainfall amounts, you can see some of these estimates, some of the yellows here, 3 to 6 inches of rain. So those were some of the heavier totals, eastern North Carolina to Virginia. Here's our situation, the rest of the tropics. Again, you can see Isabel coming inland yesterday and now making its way up toward Ontario, crossing Lake Erie. Some other features across the tropics, we're looking at a little flare-up of showers and storms to the east of the islands, also back over toward the Gulf of Mexico. Satellite photographs showing mostly fair skies over toward the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico. Well, we're finding a large flare-up of showers and storms. You can see the winds, though. Look at the winds here, blowing the tops off these thunder showers in the Gulf all the way down here. So there's some rather strong winds blowing across that complex of thunderstorms. Two things that we're looking at with this. First of all, when you have strong winds aloft, you're not going to get development. And second of all, this is a fairly new area of disturbed weather, and you want to wait for persistence. If you see any sort of persistence, 12, 24 hours at least, then you may take more of an attention. But it is quite a large area of showers and storms off the coast of Mexico. That's something that we'll be keeping our eyes on. Over to the coast of Africa, weak spin right here, and there's some disorganized showers and storms just to the east of the islands. We're not looking for development in those areas. Well, we can head farther to the Pacific, and I want to show you some of the pictures from Mexico. And we had flooding here in the States from Isabel. Well, they're getting some flooding from a tropical system as well. We're looking at this tropical system making its way away and pushing its way off the coast. So we have some showers, some storms building up, cause some flooding. Well, that was with this tropical system here, Marty, latest tropical storm. Marty sitting off the coast, should be making its way off the coast, and we're still expecting to become a hurricane. So Marty should strengthen, but notice how some of the thunderstorms are still right down along the coastal area. So flooding still potential problem. And that's what's left of Linda. There's still some showers and storms. That is going to be pushing its way out the sea. So that's a look at what's going on in the tropics. Back here in the States, over to the northeast, maybe some showers and thunderstorms. We have a few of those thunder showers trying to build up across southern New England. Latest current conditions across the country shaping up like this, where the west dominated by high pressure, central plains high pressure, some cooler weather for you in Dallas. Farther south, though, some rain coming in down to Brownsville. That's with that big complex of showers and storms. In the northeast, there's the low heading across Lake Erie. That's what's left of Isabel. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the latest current conditions and your Friday forecast. First of all, your local on the 8s.
Where will you be when your diarrhea comes back? You should have taken Imodium AD the first time. Don't wait till it's too late.
Hey, where does this go? It does both. Cleaner, no horizon.
Hour this afternoon.